Hi, biology. Welcome back to school for a Monday. I'm not even in the mood for being in school today, so if you're not, I totally get that. Um, so to start off, I just wanted to remind you that now we're moving into part two. So we're gonna go through and make sure, and I'm gonna make sure that you know that after part one, this is where we make a copy of our digital notebooks. Okay. So right now I am in one of the biology courses, and I'm going to go to um, week 6. I think that's when we started part one. Yes, week 6, day 1, and then you go to the Intro to Biology notebook, part 1, right? And then you're going to go to either my document or my submission, whichever one. I don't know how it shows up on you guys, on your on your side, but you're just going to open your document or your submission or whatever. Then you're going to go to, you have to do this through Schoology. You have to go to File, make a copy of entire presentation. So I am just going to go ahead and do that, and then it's going to open it for me. It should automatically open it for you for the first time when you make the copy. Now, I have my drive set up so that it's organized and I know where everything is for all my classes. So right now, I can see that right now I just now made a copy of my notebook. All right. And now you'll be able to see that you can't edit your submission. So now that you've made a copy, you can start editing your this part 2. So we've got it labeled part 2. That's where you're going to start today. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that you know pretty much like how you're going to move forward from now on. So as you've noticed, not all of our assignments, so for example, the sub assignments, not all of our assignments are going to be in the notebook, but those are mostly just practice, whereas the notebook is reserved for mainly like taking notes, and then you kind of get, it's an assignment and taking notes so that you have it later for study reference for yourself, and it's all together. um and if you want, I would highly recommend making copies to put into your Google Drive of all of your assignments and stuff as well to help you study. I mean, that's sort of the beauty of um, having all of this digitally, is so that when a quiz or a test comes up, um, you're ready for it, hopefully. All right. Um, just a reminder, at the end of this notebook, you will be having a quiz. It's not going to be a very big quiz, but there will be a quiz. Let's see. We still got a lot of parts to go through. So part 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be a while. So I will announce whenever we're going to have a quiz. All right. I'm just putting it out there right now. There's going to be a quiz. I'll remind you when it gets closer to time for said quiz. All right. So now that we've gotten through that, I'm going to talk about what we're going to do today, which is, and I highly recommend, if you have another tab, going side by side. So looking at this video while you're working on your notebook. All right. So I'm going to talk about the organization levels of life. Why are there no pictures? What's with this? What is this blasphemy? All right. Well, we're just not gonna present. We're just gonna stick with this. Organization levels, what we mean by that is that we start with the smallest unit of life of what determines what makes life, and then we go all the way up to the largest. And this organization level chart doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because it goes from the smallest at the top to the largest at the bottom. It doesn't help me remember it very well, but today in your notebook, so I'm going to go back to the notebook. Today in your notebook, you're going to create a diagram, just like the one in the slide, but you get to make your own diagram the way that it would help you memorize it. So there's no like really right or wrong way to make your diagram, but there are certain specifications that I do require that you have on your diagram for you to get full credit. All right, so we're gonna start with the smallest. So the smallest thing, we can't break it down any further. It's the atom. It's the basic unit of matter. And then after that, we have the molecule, which is like two or more bonded atoms. So oh goodness, I should get out my my molecule kit, but basically that just means, so like a compound like sugar, 6H or C6H12O6, that is a molecule. So we have more than one oxygen bonded together with more than one carbon bonded together with more than one hydrogen bonded together. That's a string, and it's called a molecule. So you can see this representation of an atom where it has a nucleus and the electrons just kind of swirling around there. And then the molecule, this is the molecule one. So we have an this is water. So we have oxygen here and two hydrogens, H2O. All right, so that would be an example of a molecule. An organelle, which is an organelle is basically, think of an organ, but it's inside a cell, okay? So it's like our organs, like a liver or something, but it's inside the cell and it doesn't have quite the same function. So it's literally translated as a specialized structure in a cell serving a function, all right? And then we have, now we go a little bit bigger. So this is an example of an organelle is the mitochondria. Sorry, I did a step back there. This is an example of an organelle, which is a mitochondria. It's the powerhouse of the cell. It's what makes the energy, the sort of a potential, the molecule that's like the potential energy that floats around and helps set off chemical reactions that need that energy to do functions. So, for example, like make proteins or set off membrane channels that allow for osmotic balance between the inside of the cell and the outside of the cell. So going up one more, after organelles, we have the whole cell, right? So here we have an example of a plant cell, and you can see all the little organelles in there. This is this big part right here with the blue, that's the xylem. That's that's the water that takes up a lot of the cell and gives it its rigidity. And going up one more, the cell is the basic unit of life. So that's we've gone over this several times. Like if it is made of cells, it is alive. Okay. And the tissue is, now we have groups of cells working together as a tissue. So this would be an example of the tissue. I'm going to zoom in on that. Let me zoom in on it. Woo! Okay, let's click off that. Can we pan? Can you pan? Okay. All right. So the reason I know that this is a tissue and is because it has multiple cells in here. And how I can tell is that these little purple spots are nucleus, right? So here is the, where's the nucleus? Where's the nucleus in this? I do believe this is the nucleus. So this is the nucleus right here for a plant cell. All right. And so under a microscope, under an actual microscope, these are not plant cells, but these, you can see the purple, that is a different cell. That is a different cell. That is a different cell, different cell, different cell. So we've got multiple, not only multiple cells, but multiple types of cells making this tissue. So each cell does something different. Right? Then we go one step up. Tissues, multiple tissues, are going to make an organ. So an example of this is the stomach. All right. So we have multiple different types of tissues making up our stomach, and each one serves a different purpose. Like one is the lining of the stomach, all right, which is very resistant to high P or low, technically low pH, which is very acidic. So our stomach acid has a pH of 2, which is very, very acidic. And so the lining, the inside lining of the stomach has to be resistant to that, otherwise it breaks down. Other tissues outside of the stomach are not resistant to that low pH, that really acidic stomach acid that we have. So whenever you have something such as heartburn, that's why it hurts, is because that stomach acid is coming up into your esophagus, and your esophagus does not have that special lining. So it's breaking down that tissue and causing what we call inflammation, or like it causes puffiness, the puffiness in the tissue of your esophagus, and it can be quite painful. All right, so now we have to have more than one organ, and that makes up an organ system, which is organs working towards one or more functions. So the stomach is part of the digestive system, which is here. The whole digestive system is the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. And then we have what we call accessory organs, which is the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. And so that organ system is, the digestive system in particular, works towards digesting our food so that we can give our cells energy, right? So moving on to a different example of a different organ system would be the respiratory system. That functions entirely to get oxygen to our cells. The cardiovascular system, that functions entirely to get blood, oxygenated blood, to our cells so that they can use the oxygen to function, etc. So it's a system that's dedicated entirely to a specific function of the body. Now we go one more. If we have all of these organ systems together, so we have our immune system, our nervous system, our respiratory system, cardiovascular system, digestive system, we have all the organ systems that we need to stay alive, we get an organism. So I am an organism, you are an organism, bugs are, like a bug is an organism, a zebra is an organism. So that's these zebras up here is our example, is an organism, is a single living creature, all right? So one of us, one me, I'm an organism, one you, you're an organism, one zebra, that's an organism. So now we need more than one organism. And then we go up to, and go one level higher, which is population. So all organisms of a species, a single species, in an area. So now we have this group of 3 zebras, and that would be considered a population. So you and your teacher and all your classmates in a single room, or if you're at home, you and your family, you would be a population within that classroom or your house. And of course, population size could differ based on how many organisms there are. So you would have a population in your classroom, but a bigger population would be the entire school. A bigger population than that would be the entire school district, et cetera, et cetera. So the population, just remember that the population can vary in size. And it can go as small as two organisms to all of the organisms on the planet of that species, of a single species. That's what a population is. Now, if we take populations of multiple species, we get a community, all right? So multiple species interacting. And so here we have, I can't bring it forward, but I can move it a little bit. Let's see if I can move it somewhere else so we can see. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so now we have a lot of different organisms. So we have shrubs, trees, grass, zebra, gazelle, cheetah, hyena, and then the lion. This represents a food web, but for right now, we're just going to focus on how it is a community. So community, we have more than one different type of organism. Right. So now we go to a community. Now we have to have multiple communities, all right? Then we have what's called an ecosystem. So an ecosystem is a little bit different. We have all interacting biotic, which is living, and abiotic, which is not living factors in an area. So an example of biotic is all the animals, all the plants and animals that live in the area. Examples of abiotic factors would be stuff that's not living. Water, not living. Phosphorus, we need phosphorus in our diet, not living. Nitrogen, plants need nitrogen, not living. So the presence of all of these necessary elements and molecules that we need aren't necessarily living, but we still need them in our ecosystem. Then we have multiple ecosystems coming together, which is called a biome. And oh, here's our picture of an ecosystem, right? I mean, that's what we did on Wednesday, I think, is that you had a subplan and it was showing a picture of an ecosystem. So this is actually a savanna ecosystem, whereas the subplan that you looked at was actually a pond ecosystem. So there are different types of ecosystems, but a biome is where you have all of the all ecosystems of a similar type. All right, so we're going to zoom in again. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so here we have a map of the world, and the highlighted areas in green represent areas that are similar. Okay, so I think these are rainforests. I do believe that these are rainforests. Let me think on that for a second. Or maybe it is savanna. Savanna? Yes. I want to say it's savanna because there's a difference between desert and savanna. Savanna actually has like all these trees and stuff in it. All right, so the savanna is not only found in Africa, it can be found in India, it can be found in the northern part of Australia. It can be found, I don't know exactly what that country is. I want to say it's Ecuador, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a geography person. But in the northern part of Brazil, the mid part of Brazil, or not Brazil, South America, duh. Sorry. But you can see that these are the highlighted portions of these areas of the world are considered so much alike that they are considered different biomes. All right, so the biosphere is the largest, so it's all the different biomes together which create all life on Earth. That is the largest portion. Okay, so basically a biosphere is, I mean, that's pretty easy to remember, right? So now what I want to concentrate on is creating a diagram. So you can do this directly. You don't have to go and copy and paste anything, but I do want you to make your own diagram. All right, so you can use this line function and you can do it any way you want. You can start up here. The only things that I really need you to do is label one side smallest and the other side largest. And you don't have to put the smallest at top and the largest at bottom. That doesn't make any sense to me. So if it makes more sense to you to put the largest at the top and the smallest at the bottom, you can totally do that. All right, and you can make it up and down. You can make it so that it's going across, right? Or you can make it like it is in the PowerPoint. You can make it diagonal if you want. But the part that I want you to do is you have the largest largest at one end and smallest at one end. You have to do every single one. You have to put every single one in order from smallest to largest, and then include at least 5 picture examples. So if you wanted to do a picture of an atom or a picture of a like a body system, a picture of an organism, a picture of a biosphere, a picture of a biome, those are 5 different examples. Those are the examples that you have to do. I just want you to pick 5 different ones, have those on, you've just fit them on the slide somewhere, and label them. So, or draw like a line to the picture. So you can put the picture anywhere and then you draw a line to the organization level that it represents. Okay, and that's all you have to do. It's pretty easy, and that's really, oh, now we're gonna get to how you go about submitting this assignment. So what you want to do is go to File on your edited copy, you go to Download, you go to PDF Document, all right? And this is going to save it somewhere on your computer or your Chromebook. So I'm going to save mine under, I'm just going to save mine here in my biology folder, right? And then it creates a PDF for me. And of course, it's got my edits on here, which is not very much. Now you will go to your assignment. So I'm just going to go to somewhere that looks sort of similar to what you would do. I submitted my assignment already, but here it would say, you know, you would have a button that says Submit Assignment. Mine has a button that says Resubmit, so I'm going to click that. And then I click the file that I want to upload. And then I want to find it wherever it is stored on my computer. So I stored it in my biology notebook, and there's my biology notebook. I'm going to let it load, and then I will hit Submit. This is not what I need for my assignment, so I'm going to click out. But you would hit Submit, and it would automatically just submit for you. And that is how you would submit your assignment, okay? All of the slides, not just like one or two, all of them. All right. Um, and I do believe that is it. So you're gonna do it. So you're gonna make a PDF every time you have an assignment until we finish the notebook, right? And then when you get a new notebook, you're gonna start this process all over again. All right. Um, and if you have any questions, I will be in the it will be in the conference, and you can drop by if you have any questions. And I hope that your Monday is not too terrible.